This is Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Thanks for joining us for this weekend's Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Pecatonica is facing off against Eastland. It is the first weekend of November. It's also daylight saving weekend, where we lose an hour but gain some knowledge. That's our phrase for this weekend. Let's meet our teams, shall we? First, the Pecatonica Indians, led by Ryan B. Ryan, introduce us. Yes. Let's stop for the applause. Ryan, introduce us to your starting lineup.
All right, well, I'm Ryan Barrick. To my left is Miguel. To my near right is Ashley. And to my far right is Zach.
Pecatonica Indians, welcome. Pecatonica's been on a nice little roll. You have made it out of the first round in 4 of the past 5 seasons. Nice job. That's an impressive effort. But equally as impressive, the Eastland Cougars, led by Kendall. Let's welcome them. And just like the Indians, Eastland has advanced out of the first round 4 times in the last 6 seasons. Unfortunately, that will only be the case for one of our teams. Today, Kendall, show us who you brought with you.
I'm Kendall, and to my right I have Ryan M. And then to my left, I have Keegan, and then to my far left, I have Jason.
All right, Pecatonica Indians, Eastland Cougars, welcome to both teams. Good luck. Let's play our game, shall we? It's our buzz-in round. So hands on your buzzers, contestants. Remember, you buzz in, you're on your own. Most important rules, wait for me to call your name and say your answer loudly and clearly. Here comes our first question. In 2019, what NFL team included single-season reception record setter Michael Thomas? Keegan.
New Orleans Saints.
That's right. He caught many of those passes from quarterback Drew Brees. You're first on the board, Eastland. What band, which honored Andy Kaufman in the song Man on the Moon, is led by Michael Stipe and released Everybody Hurts and Losing My Religion? Your parents are screaming the answer to this one at the TV. That's REM. No points for that music question. New one for both teams. What river that shares its name with a country governed from Niamey is the longest river in West Africa? Go ahead, Ryan B.
The Nile.
Incorrect. Eastland, you've got a chance for these points. Keegan.
Ghana.
Incorrect. The Niger River runs about 2,500 miles through nearly a dozen countries. New question, teams. Emeralds contain aluminum, chromium, and what metal? The lightest alkaline earth metal, which is used in X-ray machines and has the atomic symbol Be. Ryan B.
Beryllium.
That is right. Top left of the periodic table, number 4 or so. And those are your points. Peck, you're on the board. What 2-word Latin phrase is used in economic writing to mean that other variables, Ryan B.
Laissez-faire.
Incorrect. I will finish for Eastland. Other variables besides the one being discussed are held equal. Tough economics question. Ceteris paribus, that translates to all other things being equal. Let's get a new question for our teams. What country signed the Hay-Banau-Varia Treaty with the U.S. in 1903, establishing a zone surrounding a canal connecting the Atlantic? Keegan.
Panama.
Yep, Atlantic and Pacific. The canal clue was probably key, right? 10 more points for Eastland. The first American author to win the Nobel Prize in Literature was what novelist who wrote Main Street? That author was Sinclair Lewis. What Australian state contains a rainforest called the Tarkine, was once called Van Diemen's Land, has its capital at Hobart, and is an island? Keegan.
Tanzania.
Incorrect. Pecatonica. Ryan B.
Tasmania.
That's right. Also where the famous devil lives. And those are your 10 points. Peck. What video game series in which the Happy Home Academy judges houses and players pay bells to Tom Nook? Miguel.
Animal Crossing.
That's right. Includes the 2020 Switch game New Horizons. You're on top now, Peck. The 2020 Pulitzer Prize for local reporting went to the staff of what city's newspaper? The Sun, for work on this city's mayor, Catherine Pugh. Keegan.
Kansas City.
Incorrect. Pecatonica. You've got the chance for these 10. Catherine Pugh was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison for fraud and tax charges in Baltimore. That paper was the Baltimore Sun. Béranger sees a rhinoceros run through the town square in a work by what Romanian-born theater of the absurd playwright who wrote The Bald Soprano? Tough literature question there. Eugene Ionesco. The Canadian $1 coin is nicknamed after what bird, which is depicted on the state quarter of Minnesota? Keegan.
Goose.
Incorrect. Pecatonica. These could be your 10. Ryan B.
A duck.
Incorrect. It's a loon, otherwise known as loonies, those $1, those $1 coins. And that's the time we have for the round. We're all done. So 1 round in, 3 more to play, right? It's a close game. Only 10 points between our 2 teams. Peck's on top, 30-20. We have our next round after this break. It's called volleyball, and we'll have it for you in just about 2 minutes. Super close game right now between Pecatonica and Eastland. Peck has 30, Eastland has 20. Before we get to our volleyball round, though, a very special thank you to a familiar face around here throughout the years of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. First as a coach, now as a judge. The Illinois Hall of Fame coach, Linda Green, is here today. Linda, thank you so much, not just for being here with us today, but for your support throughout the years. Our volleyball round contestants is a back and forth. You can work as a team and confer, but I have to hear from the captains. That's Keegan and Ryan B. And because of the coin flip, our first volleyball question is going to you, Ryan. So are you and the team set?
Yep.
Here comes your first volleyball question this week. What U.S. architect who designed the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the Louvre Pyramid was born in China?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Incorrect. Worth shouting out a name before the buzzer, right? I.M. Pei was that architect. We are over to Eastland now for your first question of the game, Kendall. The round. In May 2021, what country was the site of a high-altitude race in which 21 runners died of hypothermia in Gansu?
Nepal.
Incorrect. It was China. Those temps dropped below zero. Many of those runners only had shorts and T-shirts on, and we're back over to Pecatonica. In the Old Testament, which son of Jesse succeeded Saul as king of Israel?
David.
Yes, someone knew that really quickly. King David, the shepherd who became king, and the first points of the round go to Peck. Kendall. A 1905 Max Weber book describes the Protestant ethics influence on what economic system, characterized by private ownership and free markets?
Capitalism.
Yes. Full title of that book, The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism. And now Eastland has points this round. We're back to Pecatonica. If a seesaw is not moving and is in rotational equilibrium, then its center of mass must lie above what point with a 7-letter name?
Fulcrum.
That's right. F-U-L-C-R-U-M. Those are your 7, and you get 10 for that. Back to Eastland. What party that included Lord Melbourne merged with the Peelites and Radicals to form the Liberal Party and was a longtime rival of the Tories? Those are the Whigs, the Whig Party. Back to Peck. What Nez Perce leader declared, "I will fight no more forever," as he surrendered to Nelson Miles in 1877?
Geronimo.
Incorrect. Chief Joseph. He was a Native American leader trying to make it to Canada. No points there. Back to Eastland. What type of structure, which consists of a unit cell extended over a 3-dimensional lattice, is a type of highly ordered solid, such as diamonds?
Tetrahedral.
Incorrect. A little bit simpler answer than that, maybe. Crystal. Diamond, probably one of the most in-demand crystals in the world. Pecatonica now. You've got a chance for 10 more. Here's your question. The orphan Homer Wells grows up under the mentorship of Dr. Wilbur Larch in the Cider House Rules, A novel by what author of A Prayer for Owen Meany?
Dickens.
Incorrect. Again, it's always worth a guess. No points that they can steal from you. John Irving. That was the author we needed. And we're out of time for the round. Those are some tough volleyball questions. We don't always have a volleyball round that's that difficult. It's a 20-point spread. Pecatonica has 50 and Eastland has 30. Our NECA IBEW lightning round is next, and there's lots of points on the line in that one. We'll have a chance for that in just a couple of minutes, but you get to play at home with the Bergstrom bonus question, and we'll be right back with that answer.
Joined at the hip by his trusty assistant coach Beard, Ted Lasso is the head coach of a fictional AFC Richmond football club and played by which former SNL funny man?
It is Bergstrom bonus question time right now. 20 points separate our teams, but no points on the line, just pizza and pasta from Tony's of Winnebago. Our Bergstrom bonus is a buzz-in, so hands on your buzzers. Let's see if you know this one. Joined at the hip by his trusty assistant coach Beard, Ted Lasso is the head coach of the fictional AFC Richmond football club and played by which former SNL funny man? Ryan B.
Will Ferrell.
Incorrect. Eastland. You could steal their pizza and pasta. You probably have to have Apple TV to know this one. Jason Sudeikis is that actor's name. And in fact, Ted Lasso led the way this year's Primetime Emmy Awards with 13 nominations. Pretty impressive. All right. No pizza, no pasta for you. But how about points? Should we get to some points? Let's do that after this next break, and we'll return with our NECA IBEW lightning round. Get ready for the fastest round in the game. It's the NECA IBEW lightning round. That means these scores could change pretty quickly. Pecatonica's on top with 50 points. Eastland has 30. And we have another Ryan on the board. It's like a Ryan convention here. I think we have 3 Ryans. I just appreciate the teams not having all 3 Ryans playing at the same time. That makes it a little bit more confusing for me, makes my job a little bit harder. Our NECA IBEW lightning round features 3 categories, and because of the coin flip, Eastland will get first pick of these 3. Each category is 10 questions. You've run the category in 60 seconds. You get 100 points. That'll change these scores relatively quickly. Kendall, these are your topics today. You and the team get to pick from first. Charles Darwin, U.S. islands, or sports trophies?
We'll take U.S. islands.
You got it. Given one or more islands, name the state. So all of your answers will be states. And then Ryan B., if you pay attention as they're going through those 60, whatever points they leave on the board, you could take from them in 30 seconds afterwards, once their 60 is up. And I'll get through these as quickly as I can. Short answers, so you may blaze through this, Kendall, who knows. Given one or more islands, name the state. Are you ready? Attu and Kiska in the Aleutian Islands.
Alaska.
Correct. Padre Island, the world's largest barrier island in the Gulf of Mexico.
Texas.
Correct. Catalina Island, which is near Long Beach.
California.
Correct. Martha's Vineyard.
Pass.
Isle Royale in the Great Lakes.
Michigan.
You got it, correct. San Juan Island, which is in the Strait of Juan de Fuca.
Puerto Rico.
Incorrect. Dry Tortugas.
Pass.
Mount Desert Island, part of which is in Acadia National Park.
Oregon.
Incorrect. Hilton Head Island.
South Carolina.
Yes. Molokai.
Pass.
Martha's Vineyard. That's the buzzer. No time to go back to that. So you added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 points to your score. You're up to 80 now. So you have half of them left, Ryan, but only half the time to do it. 30 seconds. Here comes your first one. You remember, your answers are states. Are you ready? Here it is. Martha's Vineyard.
Louisiana.
Incorrect. San Juan Island, which is in the Strait of Juan de Fuca.
Florida.
Incorrect. Dry Tortugas.
Florida.
That's correct. Mount Desert Island, part of which is in Acadia National Park.
Maine.
That's correct. Molokai.
Hawaii.
That is correct. Nothing to go back to. So you added 3. 30 points. You now are at, oh, it's tied. We're 80 to 80. I need to do math faster in my head. The two that no one got answers to, Martha's Vineyards in Massachusetts and San Juan Island. It was kind of tricky, right, because it has a Spanish name to it, which is also in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. That's Washington, Washington State. It made sense to guess Florida, right, when you hear that name. So that's our first category. Now, Ryan, these are the two you have left. Charles Darwin or sports trophies?
Charles Darwin.
All right, we'll leave sports trophies by the wayside. Answer the following about Charles Darwin. That's as general as we can be in this category. Same rules apply. 60 seconds. You can work as a team. I have to hear the answers from Ryan, and then Kendall, you and the team will have 30 seconds to clean up what's left. Ryan, are you ready? Yep. Here is your first one. He claimed this natural process drives evolution.
Natural selection.
Yes, correct. Ship on which he sailed the world.
The Beagle.
Correct. He wrote a book on these ecosystems made of coral.
Reefs.
Correct. He wrote a book on the origin of blank.
Species.
Correct. Darwin's finches live on this archipelago.
The Galapagos Islands.
Correct. He studied these crustaceans that attach to ships' hulls.
Barnacles.
Correct. Darwin's critics cited this Frenchman's theory of acquired characteristics.
Pass.
In 1858, he co-wrote an article on evolution with this man.
Pass.
Word completing the title of a book on human evolution, The Blank of Man.
Origin.
Incorrect. Man called Darwin's bulldog for his support of Darwin.
Pass.
Darwin's critics cited this Frenchman's theory of acquired characteristics. And that's the buzzer. No time to get back to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 60 points added. You're up to 140. So there's only 40 left on the board for you, Kendall, and the team. You'll have 30 seconds to get to them. Basically, the last 4 of... Thought you were on a good roll there. Thought you were going to run it, but those got hard at the end. 4 left. Kendall, are you ready? Here's your first one. Darwin's critics cited this Frenchman's theory of acquired characteristics.
No answer.
In 1858, he co-wrote an article on evolution with this man.
No answer.
Word completing the title of a book on human evolution, The Blank of Man.
Theory?
Incorrect. Man called Darwin's bulldog for his support of Darwin.
No answer.
Those were tough. Those last 4 were really hard. Darwin's critics called this Frenchman's theory, or cited this Frenchman's theory, was Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. It was Lamarck's theory. The book he co-wrote this article in 1858 with Alfred Russel Wallace. The word completing that book title, The Blank of Man, is The Descent of Man. And Darwin's bulldog was Thomas Huxley. So that's our lightning round. It's a 60-point spread. Pecatonica's on top, 140 to 80. Our final challenge round, every question is worth 20 points. So that score could change depending on if you get on a roll or not. We'll have those questions for you in just a couple minutes. Pecatonica widened its gap in that last round, but this still is not a very big point spread when you consider every question in this round is worth 20 points. You're only 3 questions behind Eastland, and this could change very fast. Our Mercy Health final challenge is a buzz-in. Same rules as round 1, other than that point change. Remember, wait for me to call your name, say your answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers. Here we go. What instrument is featured in a B minor concerto by Antonin Dvorak and an E minor concerto by Edvard Elgar and has a name meaning little big viol? Miguel.
Violin.
Incorrect. Eastland. You could take these points. Keegan.
Cello.
Yes, you got it. Those are your 20. Eastland's first in this round with some points. Actor Joe Manganiello is married to what Colombian-born actress who is a judge on America's Got Talent and played Gloria on Modern Family? Jackson.
Mel B.
Incorrect. Eastland. This could get you closer. For a while, she was the highest paid actress on TV in America, Sofia Vergara. New question, teams. What poet who wrote, "I do not hope to turn again" in Ash Wednesday depicted women talking to Michelangelo in The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock? Also known for the poems that inspired the musical Cats, T.S. Eliot. New question, teams. What 1890 law named for the brother of a Union general banned price discrimination and other practices that create monopolies? It was named after Senator John Sherman of Ohio, the Sherman Antitrust Act. What company, which acquired Warner Media in 2018, includes most of the Baby Bells, is headquartered in Dallas, and is the world's largest telecom? Ryan B.
AT&T.
That's right. Might recognize spokesperson Lily. Those are your 20, first 20 of the round for you, Peck. Electrolysis is an example of what class of reactions in which a compound is broken down into two or more smaller compounds? Ryan B.
A deconstruction.
Incorrect. Eastland. Go ahead, Keegan.
Chemical?
Incorrect. Decomposition. You had the D right, and even the con right. No points, teams. What beings, who included the three brothers who forged Zeus's thunderbolts, and Polyphemus, who ate much of Jackson?
Cyclops?
Yep. You didn't even need the most obvious clue. One-eyed giants. Pecatonica's 20 points. What 20th century Romanian sculptor made abstract representations of avians in flight in his series Bird in Space? Brian B.
Raphael.
Incorrect. Eastland. Tough modern art question. Konstantin Brinkush. What poem in which a spirit from the land of mist and snow avenges the death of an albatross was written by Samuel Ryan B?
The Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Yes. Emily Taylor Coleridge about a sailor, and that long buzzer means our game is over. Pecatonica widened that gap in the end with 200 points. You are moving on to the next round. Congratulations. Eastland fell a little bit short in the end there, but hope you had a good time. How many seniors are on your team? Senior send-off time? Just Kendall. Captain Kendall. Well, you need to prepare the team for your departure for next season when they come back. Is that a deal? It was a pleasure having you play, and the rest of the team will see you next season. Pecatonica, we'll see you next round, right? I hope so. Everybody's nodding their heads, yes? And hope to see you next week when Byron takes on Morrison. Thanks for being here.